Well, hi there. How's it going? Good to see you. It's Friday evening. The week is over. The weekend has just begun. Tonight, I'm going to work on the lighthouse. Finally. I know, right? I've been saying that forever. I've actually worked on it a little bit here and there in my free time. What little I had since Wednesday evening. I got to do a little bit Thursday morning, and then Thursday evening, and again some this morning, and then lunch breaks the last couple days as well. And then I did a little bit after work today. Let's get geared up. Boop. We've actually done quite a bit of the lighthouse. At least the foundation. I'm not even going to bother with this guy. And some of the walls, as you're about to see, it should come into focus here in a moment. There we go. I've kind of outlined where I'm going next with the scaffolding. We'll sleep, make it daytime, and kind of look around at what we've got so far. Don't sleep with fireworks, though I don't recommend it. It can be dangerous. So yeah, let's give it a look. There we go. So yeah, we got the foundation. We got whatever the thing on top of the foundation is. I guess the base. And the next thing I'm going to do is the walls. I've kind of outlined where I think roughly it'll go with scaffolding. We have a staircase. It's not an exact replica of the Bioshock lighthouse. I believe the staircase actually sort of forms a T instead of doubling back on the walls like I did here, but I thought that would be an interesting feature. There are lights like this, though they're on either side, but if I put them on this side, the iron fences connect, and it didn't look right. If I had kept the staircase going out this way, I could have done that. So that's a sacrifice I had to make to have this angled staircase, but I like the angled staircase. It's a cool feature. I just put some spruce here on every other one. To me, spruce just like looks kind of wet, so I thought that might be a good accent block. Some chains. Same thing on this side. This is a soul lantern. It's the same as a regular lantern. It just doesn't give off as much light. The exterior of the lighthouse in the game Bioshock is very traditional looking, if you consider Art Deco architecture to be traditional looking. But the inside is otherworldly, so I thought I would kind of do traditional lights outside and switch to the another type of lights inside. We have a way. I like to create several ways into places I go. As you saw, I can get in two ways. The ocean monument over there. So you can come up right here on either staircase. You can come up through this ladder. You can go in through here, and then there's this little archway. And of course, none of this is done. I'll clean it up, and also I'll dirty it up. We'll put some variation in these blocks as well. I just kind of wanted to get the shape completed. But actually, that'd be a good screenshot. It's coming together nicely. I like it. I like what we've done so far. And of course, it's been running the whole time I've been building it, so I've accumulated some sugarcane and some gunpowder. Plus the gunpowder that was already in here. And sugarcane that I didn't take to make more rockets. I will put a floor in here and some more lighting and that sort of thing. But today is going to be mostly exterior, I think. Probably won't finish it today. Probably won't, I mean, even finish the exterior is what I'm trying to say. But we can give it another look around. With the free cam. And it's, you know, just your standard octagon shaped black lighthouse floating in the middle of the ocean. Exactly what you'd expect that sort of thing to look like, I suppose. If you were expecting a black octagon shaped lighthouse in the middle of the ocean. So the next step is going to be, well, actually, let's show the front one more time. So pretty. So I really just do like looking at this. It does look nice. It's coming together well. I hope it continues to do so. But the next step is I want to bring the walls up to about there where you see the scaffolding sort of go in, and then we'll assess and see what we want to do. We might bring it in a little bit from there. We might decide to go higher. And to that end, I did a little mining off camera. And that's what these are. I made a bunch of scaffolding too. I lost one of them, but that's okay. Well, we got some stone, cobbled deep slate, and more cobbled deep slate. And I brought this stone cutter over here. You can actually use a stone cutter to avoid having to use the recipe every time. It'll just kind of do it for you. And also you get a little bit extra when you use the stone cutter as opposed to a crafting table to make various types of stone. So that's nice. We're probably going to use every bit of this. Don't worry, I have this one too. So we'll go ahead and make some more. You know what? I tell you what though, we won't do it all, just in case we end up wanting to make something up. So we'll just sort of go up here and do the thing. And we'll have to light up this area right here somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. Or we'll get spawns there, which we don't want. Yeah, I've worked on this, as you can tell, off and on. Thursday morning, I woke up a little early, worked on it some before work. Then I had a dentist appointment. And then worked on it some during my lunch break. Then worked on it some after work before my girlfriend came over. And then I Actually, I don't know how long I want to stream tonight because I continued to work on it actually starting at 3 o'clock this morning. And yeah, I know, but I have a good reason. I fully admit that if I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to play Minecraft, that'd be weird. But I have done it, and when I do it, I admit it. But I didn't get up just to play Minecraft. What happened is... Oh no. I want that block. I don't know why I think this goes back to the first mega build I ever did. But... like, because I didn't know you had to, I didn't know about silk touch, and so I was making something out of stone roughly the same size as this, and so I had to put every piece of cobblestone in a furnace to get stone, because that's the only way I knew to get it. And so if I dropped any, I would go get it because it was faster to go get it than to wait for another one to cook. So to this day, it's a habit I haven't really broken. I've tried to, and I'm successful for a while, and then I come back to it and start doing it again. Maybe I'll try to stop doing it while I'm streaming, because that's annoying, I'm sure, to watch. So I'm sorry, I won't do that. Try not to. Anyway, 3:15 ish this morning. I wake up. And I just have this huge sneeze. Felt pretty good. And I got up, blew my nose, and went back to sleep. Well, I tried. This sneeze, it seemed, loosened up a bunch of stuff in my upper nasal cavity. And it just would not stop flowing. No matter how I laid, I couldn't breathe. The only way I was able to breathe was if I sat up. So I did the same thing I do every time I get a stuffy nose. And it always works for me. It took me almost 40 years to figure out something that worked for me. But this is what works for me. Is I take something with an anti-inflammatory in it. For me, that was today I had a leaf. So that's what I took. And then I use a spray that's got, like, I guess it's a form of steroid, but like, not the scary steroids that it's not bodybuilding steroids. It's like an over-the-counter thing. It's fine, okay. It doesn't make me angry when I use nose spray. I promise, I'm cool. Anyway, I did that. And usually that works right away if I just have a stuffy nose. But what I actually had was actual congestion, not just like closed nasal passages. So I had to wait for the medicine to kick in and widen them up enough to make that more tolerable so I could go to sleep. That took a couple hours. So I did some of this then. And then, of course, I did more on my lunch break. And I did more after work. And now we're here. I started streaming a little later than the normal because I wasn't at a good stopping point. I wanted to be at a good stopping point before I started streaming. I wanted to be at, because what's the other side of a good stopping point? It's the arrows sticking out is what it is. No, the opposite side of a good stopping point is a good starting point. So anyway, I mostly feel better now. Still a little bit stuffy, but I can mostly breathe and it's not really congestion anymore. So that's nice. On a personal note, I have an arrow sticking out of me in the most unfortunate way, don't I? Mm-hmm. That's not the personal note. No. I don't know what my stream schedule is going to be like next week because I had a death in the family today. R.I.P. I'm okay. My great aunt, who would have been 94, yes, almost a stack and a half of years. She passed away this afternoon. And we weren't close, but she was married to my grandfather's older brother, and my grandfather was the youngest of 7. Oops. Big family back then. They're all dead now. No, now my aunt is too. Anyway, of all of his brothers and sisters, this particular brother and his wife, his brother's wife, who is the one who died today, they're always my favorite. We weren't close. I only saw them a couple times a year most of my life. But every time we were at some sort of family thing, you know, a wedding, funeral, we usually, until everybody died, we'd all get together at Christmas. Oh dear. This is why we shriek. Okay, well, we'll just despawn the monsters by flying far enough away. Anyway, we would always end up talking to each other. At these family events, we always sort of gravitated to each other, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Looks like, looks like nothing was damaged. Okay, that's good. Good. Let's shriek. And it was through not just my grandfather, but because of these events that I got to know a little bit more about my family and who they were and who they used to be. I'm very much not like most of my family. We get along fine. There's never been any like issues or turmoil or anything like that. But I've always been like just different from them in the sense that I don't know. They lived, I guess, in a much smaller world than I did, and that's fine. That works for some people, but because of that, they just had a hard time understanding where I was coming from. Because I've just, I've traveled, I've lived overseas, I've done things in my hobbies and career that, they just never considered to be the thing that you actually do. But I was never unwelcome or anything like that. It was just sort of no one really knew what to make of Captain Incredulous, the weirdo. But of course, I mean weird as a compliment. Weird is good. But this aunt and uncle were sort of like me in that vein. And I think that's why we gravitated towards one another and why we enjoyed each other's company so much. Is because it's just nice to have someone to relate to. Whatever it is about. And so, well, as I say, we were not close. I did like her quite a bit, and I will miss the few conversations I got to have with her every year. But she lived a very good and full life. Just the sort of thing I hope to be able to say about my own one day. I think I'm on pretty good track to be able to do that. And I don't believe she had any regrets beyond, you know, the sort of normal things, you know, that people would have. And right up until the very end, shy of just a few months, she had all her mental faculties and everything. She was starting to have little not sure what was going on type of moments. But for the most part, right up until the end, she was as sharp as ever, and could take a joke just as well as she could give one, and she was quite good at giving them. She was a funny person. I can't tell you anything she ever said because I don't remember any of it. It was always sort of just a quip, reaction to whatever was going on at the moment, you know. I very much enjoyed those quips. Anyway, enough about that. What else can we talk about? Well, I guess the whole point of me bringing that was I don't know what my stream schedule is going to look like next week. I guess is how that started, and I didn't I didn't get to I didn't circle back to that like I meant to. Everyone in my family is buried at the same place, all prepaid years ago. I think probably before I was born. So all the arrangements are already made and have been for a long time. Everything's paid for. And it's just a matter of, I guess, scheduling. When do they have availability for, you know, there's usually like you get to go and they have the I guess the wake is what it's called. So its function no longer serves as a wake. They're embalmed. They're not waking up after that. Or we have an entirely different problem. So yeah, that's gonna be a thing I have to go to, and no telling if that will be in the evening or during the day. Weekend, I don't know. I imagine it will all be wrapped up by, you know, today's Friday. I will be wrapped up by Friday next week. It just depends on how many other people died this week and how busy they are, and how quickly my cousins can take care of all the things that they have to do, even though it's all prearranged and paid for. You know, there's still minutia that the family has to, the living, you know, the children have to sign off on. So there may be an evening or two where I'm not on that I normally am, and if so, that's why. But I'm good. Everything's okay. Good spirits. I'm looking forward to seeing some of my family. Not that I don't like anyone. It's just yeah, you know how family can be like. It's a bit overwhelming when everyone gets together, though there are much fewer of us now. A lot of big personalities. And lots of inside jokes that no one will explain to me because they, for some reason, that I might can understand a bit. Some of these people, they fail to understand that I'm over 40 years old. And they think they need to, like, whisper when they say a bad word when I'm around. Because, you know, we can't say that in front of the children. When most of my cousins have children that are old enough to have children themselves. I don't have any children. Not something I'm terribly upset about. Because instead of entertaining them on a Friday night, I'm playing Minecraft. Take that. No, I'm sure being a parent is very fulfilling, and good for you if you are one. Anywho's'll be. We might spend some of this evening mining, as opposed to building. I'd hoped a couple shulker boxes would be enough. We've already gone through one. Oops, I'm hitting the wrong button. I'm actually hoping that all the services take place during work hours. Between Monday and Wednesday. For very selfish reasons, actually. You see, this cemetery used to be on the outskirts of town. Way, way, way back, decades ago, and now it's right sort of in the middle of it. And I just happen to work less than a mile from it. So not only would I get out of work, but I already have to be there anyway, so it'll shorten my drive. So that would be nice. And then I can just make up the time I missed on the days I'm at home. And I can do that just by getting up a little early. Taking a shorter lunch. But of course, I'll go whatever day and whatever time it is. Because that's what one does. But one can also hope that the times are convenient for themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. I suppose we should sleep so we don't get a creeper creeping up on us again. Because, that would suck. I mean, feather falling will, you know, make it less dangerous. But I'd hate to have any of this blow up. Especially the scaffolding. Because I have that placed, like, so specifically. Well, let's shriek. There we go. Take a sip of water. That was delicious. My water has a lemon flavor packet in it today. It's quite good, quite refreshing. Just a little tart. Let's see how we're looking. Oh, geez. Man, we have got a ways to go. I'm going to count, if I remember to. Oh, I have finished a complete circuit around. Okay, let's count how many blocks are on one pass. We'll start with full stacks. so that we can just do the math. And we're going to put 2 on, we'll consider 2 more rows is 1 pass is what we're going to say. Not even halfway around. Oh my. I sure am glad that things like this don't get more slick when it rains, or we'd be in trouble. Alright, we're just over 1/2 of the way through. That's 128 blocks. One thing I haven't shown is, with all the mining I've been doing, thanks to Fortune 3, I'm getting a stack to half a stack of diamonds every time I go mining. So we are flush with those things. I was having bad luck when we were looking for them, and now that I don't... Oop, what am I doing? Now that I'm not looking for them anymore, we're finding them all over the place. We got tons of redstone, quite a bit of lapis. Also have come across some tuff. And, oh, and lots of gravel, too. I mean, whenever I run into a pocket of gravel, I get every last bit of it for when we're going to need concrete. It'll be so nice to not have to go get gravel, because we already have it. Okay, so we used 3.5 stacks on 1 pass, and a 1/4 stack of the stone bricks on 1 pass. The 3.5 stacks is... Alright. Each of those shulker blocks holds 27, so 3.5. We're looking at like less than 9 passes. Let's see. The half part's messing with me. We'll just say we're probably only gonna get about 7 passes per shulker box. And we've got more than 7 to go, that's for sure. And that's just on this section. I guess we can go ahead and turn all of the deep slate into polished deep slate. Of course, we can reclaim some of this because there's going to be a feature on each side that's sort of like here to here, where it'll be something different. Actually, let me put my reference photo. Yeah, I don't know actually what I'm gonna make that out of yet. So we'll be able to reclaim some of this, but I'm gonna go ahead and build the whole thing, because building it, it'll be easier to decide where to place that sort of decorative feature once we have the whole thing built out. And what we've reclaimed, we can use to build above us. The next section. Yep, I'm just gonna do it all. At least we won't have to keep coming back down here for at least a few minutes. But if you're looking to get an idea of what I'm building here, it's not an exact replica, it's just a generalized sort of mostly close to replica thing. I'm taking some liberties with it. I already have. Just look up the Bioshock 1 lighthouse. And there are tons of pictures you can look at. I was thinking, since in the game the lighthouse is the entrance to the underwater city of Rapture, it might be cool to build a glass floor down there and then cover the bottom of the ocean underneath. Well, not cover, but place many sea pickles, because they're sort of bioluminescent, I guess. They glow, they put off light, which will also prevent mobs from spawning down there. Now, it won't prevent mobs from spawning elsewhere and coming, you know, to see what's over there, because they'll sense us being there. Except when we're up there, we'll be too far away for them to be able to spawn. But when we're down there, they'll come over and take a look at what in the world we're doing and see if they can get in on, you know, killing us. And with the lights, it'll be easier to see them. You know, maybe they'll do some more, the majestic ocean dances that they have graced us with in the past. I actually, while I was building this, when I was much lower, I ran into 2 drowned over the course of the last couple of days who were so enraptured, yes, that's a Bioshock fun, by what I was doing, that they threw tridents at me. And then I went to talk to them and thank them for drawing attention to the really incredible architectural feat I'm pulling off here, and they gave me their tridents. Oops. So I have 2 more tridents now. That's nice. No, I'm not going to be building Rapture. I don't want to. I have no interest in it. I hope someone out there someday does. That'd be cool. I'd like to download the map and go explore it if they do. But I don't want to. So I'm just going to light up the floor underneath it. The closest I'm going to get to building Rapture is if I become dissatisfied with my sugarcane farm and I don't build it, like, up, I'll put it underneath this thing, probably. We could do other things too. I found a coral ocean, so we could, get some of that coral and move it over here, and then it'll be really colorful under the lighthouse. We could look into doing that. We'll see. And these days just fly by when you're building. Man, that looks like a skeleton when you're coming down. Which is fine. I'm not worried about a skeleton. I'm more worried about a creeper. Blowing up this beautiful work we've done. And also, especially around places like right here, these corners were difficult to figure out. I don't want to have to figure them out again. I want to do something else too. I'm tired of having an odd number. I don't know how that happened. I must have dropped one and not realized it. See, this is why we pick stuff up, right? Right. But I'm tired of having an odd one and then I keep placing a torch by accident because of it. So let's remedy that. Because 2 odds make an even. There we go. Anyway, yeah, well, I'm thinking we might put glass down there and a bunch of sea pickles at the very least. And I'll do some lighting of the interior down below at least, and up top where our AFK spot will be. I made a whole stack of soul lanterns. I doubt we'll use them all here. We'll probably use them on other places that make sense too. If I don't get it, I'm gonna have an odd number again, and that's gonna throw me off. And I'm gonna place the torch by accident. I'm getting it. Down here is where we'll put the sea pickles. You know, I also have a piece of seaweed like this right here, right outside my window in the Ocean Monument, and every time I see it, for just not even a tenth of a second, I think, is that a creeper? How did it get down here? And then I remember just as quickly, oh yeah, it's that seagrass. And we're not going to go crazy with the interior. I might put some Bioshock references in there. Maybe we'll put an iron golem in there to sort of serve the role as one of those things that roam around called Big Daddies. Or in Bioshock 2, you actually play as one. There is a... What was that? That was a noise I don't recognize. Anyway, there's a data pack by this guy's name is Roundaround, where you can put a name tag on baby mobs and they won't ever grow up. So we could pair an iron golem with one of those if I can get it to work. I haven't been able to get a few things to work in 19.3, and I haven't been able to get anything to work in 19.4. So we'll try again when 1.20 comes out, which is also when we get rid of the world border. I don't know what mob I would use. The Big Daddies are always accompanied by a thing called a little sister. I don't know what mob would be appropriate for that. Maybe a Strider? I don't know. I have to think about it. And if you're familiar with the game and can think of any mob that would, next to an Iron Golem, maybe best represent a little sister, then let me know. Try to think of other mobs. So if you're not familiar with Bioshock, maybe this would be a good time to kind of explain the premise. Without giving any spoilers, in case any, you ever play it, because there's twists and stuff in the plot. It's quite good. It's it's a very well executed game and it's very well written. The whole series is quite good. But basically, you're on a plane. The plane crashes. And this is a cutscene. You really have no control during this part. That's how the game opens. And then sort of you're in the ocean. You're surrounded by the wreckage of the plane. And really the only place that you can go is this lighthouse is just sticking out in the middle of the ocean, just like this one. And you go in and immediately you're attacked by this like really weird, grotesque looking person who doesn't really even seem to be human anymore. And it's because in this underwater society called Rapture, they've embraced the ideology of Ayn Rand and people like her. And they've used like that ideology and other parallel ideologies to sort of enhance themselves in various ways with various abilities. And these enhancements all come through basically engineering of drugs called plasmoids, I believe, or plasmids, something like that. And these plasmids can give you different powers. Basically, they can make it so you can shoot these powers out of your hands, or that could be telekinesis. You could freeze things, set things on fire, shoot electricity. There are a number of powers. I don't remember them all. And something has happened. There was some sort of disaster. And the society collapsed and everyone sort of went mad. And you're stuck down there. And your only friend is this dude named Atlas, which I presume is a reference to Atlas Shrugged. Who's sort of able to talk to you through a radio. Mind you, this is a game of retro futurism in the setting, and that this all takes place in the early 60s. It's sort of, but it's like got technology that doesn't even exist now. That's why I say retro futurism. It's the aesthetic of the 20s, while it's set in the late 50s, early 60s, with technology that's more advanced than we actually have in 2023. It's called retro futurism. It's also referred to as the past that never was. So yeah, you make your way through this underwater city, and there are these giant things. They're wearing these like old school diving suits, like if you were to think of a diving suit from like maybe even the Victorian era, like with all the bolts and the giant glass hood, and But these big daddies, that's what they're called, that are wearing these diving suits, they're actually walking around the city. They're not underwater, like in the water. They're underwater in the city, which is mostly dry. There are some leaks and stuff like that, but they also have, one of their hands is actually a giant drill. And these things are massive, and they're difficult to kill, but they can kill you very easily. And their job is to protect these things called little sisters, which are basically these small girls that like have basically been exploited because the way that the plasmid that gives people these powers is extracted is through children, and their society has chosen to basically exploit small children to get that. And so the children are a valuable resource to them, and they have enlisted these big daddies to protect them. And then within the game, you can choose to rescue the little sister from the big daddy, or you can kill them both. And there are pros and cons to both, and which one you do also affects the story and the ending that you get. Which is all very, very much within the theme of the philosophies that I've already mentioned. Okay, I heard a noise. It almost sounded like a phantom, but I've slept. I don't know. That creeper is going to drop on me. I'm going to fly over here and despawn it. You get 128 blocks away, I believe they despawn. Anyway, I won't say more than that about Bioshock 1, but there are a number of plot twists and interesting things that happen. It's a beautiful game. The visuals are so beautiful, and even over 10 years since its release, it holds up well. I never actually even played it until last summer. I had it a long time, and I kept picking up, and I played about 20 minutes, and I'd get really into it, but then I'd have to step away, and I would not make it back for months, so I'd just start over because I wasn't that far in to begin with. And this time I just sort of powered through it over the course of several evenings, 1 week. I was still playing Minecraft, but I was also playing Bioshock that week. I heard that noise again. It's not the spider. I didn't kill them because sometimes I like to watch them fall. I don't know why. I just do. Wait a minute. Am I missing? Yes, I'm glad I caught that. So yeah, that's Bioshock 1. Bioshock 2. Oh, and Bioshock 1 is where this lighthouse. It's like I said, it's the entrance. The lighthouse doesn't really factor in much the rest of the game once you enter. It's just the entrance. But it's a cool entrance. It's a very memorable entrance. And since you have to build a creeper, you don't have to, but since it's most effective to build a creeper farm over the ocean, I thought, well, that's the perfect thing to encase it in. Because I like to build my ugly farm. I mean, not that this is ugly, but it's not like something you're like, oh man, look at that. Isn't that a beautiful landmark? You know, it's an interesting thing to look at. It's just not, when I look out over the ocean, I want to see something pretty, not something interesting. Well, I mean, I'm not explaining it well, but you know what I mean. Anyway, Bioshock 2 also takes place in Rapture. But that one you play as a Big Daddy, and then you sort of, as you recover your memory, because I think you've lost some of it, you slowly sort of unravel more of the backstory of the big daddies and the little sisters that you didn't know about, even if you completed the first game. And the little sisters are in that one too, as are big daddies. It's just you are choosing to rescue the little sisters from the other big daddies, and you don't have any of your own. And these children, they're sort of brainwashed like the big daddies. They don't really understand what's going on, and you actually get to see their perspective at one point, which the city is dark, and you know it's fallen in disrepair from years of neglect of the society collapsing and the insane people running around. But the children are brainwashed to the extent that everything looks really pretty to them. And the big daddies are brainwashed in that they don't necessarily remember who they were or anything other than their objective, which is to protect the little sisters. And that's the role you play in Bioshock 2. And I really liked the fighting mechanics of the second one better than the first one, but I liked the fighting encounters of the first one better. And I had hoped that in the third one they would sort of combine the two, but the third one's entirely different. Though there is a fourth one that's coming out soon. I believe it's an open world one set in a new location in Antarctica. But that's all I really know. The third one is actually set in an entirely different city, and instead of underwater, the city of Rapture, it's set in a floating city held up by these giant fan turbine energy things. Again, it's technology that we don't possess now, but it's actually set in the late 1800s, and the city's called Columbia, and it gets into a lot of nationalist type philosophy and things of that era, like Manifest Destiny and the sort of attitudes of that era. And there are no big daddies or little sisters in that one. Rather, you're rescuing the daughter of the founder of the city, who he has sort of kept hidden away, isolated, and not allowed to roam. And she's quite unhappy about that. And there's question as to whether she's even his daughter and that sort of thing. And I didn't really enjoy the gameplay of that one that much. There's also these things like these grappling hooks, so you can, like, it's a bunch of it's like each block is its own little floating spot, so you have to use these grappling mechanisms to get from one area to the other. And that was fun. But the plasmoids are actually like, or plasmids are actually like elixirs or something that you drink or something like that. It's slightly different because the technology is not as advanced, because it's the 1800s or early 1900s. It's that area, sort of Victorian type era, so it could be either one. I don't remember exactly. I want to say it's like 1899 or something like that. It's the tail end of the Victorian era. And there's a lighthouse in that one too that you sort of start and end at, and that one is important to the story. And even though I didn't enjoy the gameplay of Bioshock 3 as much as 1 and 2, the story was quite good, and that's the only reason I kept playing it, is because I was like, well, I still want to know the story. It's really, really compelling, and of the three, it might have had the best story. I'm not sure if the first one or the third one had the best story. They're both really, really, I mean, you know, you get to a point where, you know, what's worse, you know, being outside when it's 99 degrees or being outside when it's 100 degrees? Well, I mean, it's hot, okay? At that point, there's no meaningful difference. That's kind of where I'm at with those two. They're both so good, it doesn't really matter which is better. Because they're just at the level, a level above most things. Here's what I'm looking for. Maybe I'll save some room for something else. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the fourth one. I probably will take a few days off of, or not take a few days off of Minecraft, but I will incorporate Bioshock 4 into my gaming time. And I'll probably plow through that one in a week or two as well, depending on how big it is. Oh, and I also I went in busting. But just a very quick one. I didn't do anything but get some more shulker boxes. I got these or not shulker boxes, but shulker shells. I got a few more than that. I think I had enough to make 15 more shulker boxes when I decided I was done in busting, because basically essentially I was out of time. I'm not ready to go mining yet, so I thought we might look into doing the floor. Also, I think I might go get some sea pickles. It won't take long to get to those either. Oops. And we'll put that right there. No, we won't. We'll put it right there. Perfect. How we doing on? Very good. Well, you know what? Maybe we... you know what? I'm not gonna sleep, actually. I was about to say I'll sleep before we go. One thing I will do before we go is get more rockets. I think we have enough to get there. But not enough to get back. I have an ender chest on me, and I could have done it when we arrived, but you know, let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. Let's go ahead and fill up on them. And as you can see, this is my rocket box. Eventually I have a bunch of shulker boxes in here, and we'll just have a fully kitted out ender chest with sort of basically wherever we go, there's a good chance what we need we'll have in our shulker box. Not necessarily building materials, but everything else you need to support the playing of the game. I can make a very rudimentary sea pickle farm as well. And we can stock up on those to put under the lighthouse. We shouldn't be too much farther from that coral ocean. I think it's right past this mangrove forest, and then a little, or mangrove swamp, and then a little north. it's by that desert. Where we transported villagers so we could get desert villagers. Yeah, it should be right over this way, I think. Yeah, here's the savannah, and I think the Badlands and desert was just north of that. Unless this is a different savannah. Maybe I should just check the map. Oh. I just barely overshot it. In fact, I think we can see it right there. Yep, there it is. So let's get some sea pickles. Let's get some coral. I recently started watching season 6 of Hermitcraft. I started with season 7. I found this playlist that's the entirety of season 6. So when I'm caught up on the current season, season 9, I've started going back and watching season 6, and the part where Cub Fan just opened his shop, Hey Coral, which I believe is a Walking Dead reference of how the main character pronounces his son's name. You do have to grow this on Carl. So let's see. Maybe we'll grow it on, I think this is called brain coral. I'm gonna need 8 to do this the way I want to do it. I'm gonna need to breathe as well. So we get 3 more. And then for the middle one, I'll get a blue one. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. We'll go back now. And we'll build a very basic sea pickle farm. Eventually I'll build one that I can sort of automate everything, or at least semi-automate. But for our purposes tonight, I'm just going to build one I can farm them manually, but still very quickly. And we'll do that right by the lighthouse. I think that'll be convenient. It's getting a little laggy, as it often does near mangrove swamps and jungles. Which I believe is because it's constantly checking to see whether or not it needs to grow vines. Because there are lots and lots of vines. If it's not that, it's something like that. It makes those super laggy. They're pretty though, I do like them. I haven't spent as much time in mangrove swamps as I would have liked. I didn't update 1.18. I went from 17. No, I didn't update from one. Well, maybe I did 117. I didn't. Whatever the first Caves and Cliffs was, I didn't update to it because I was playing a long time world that had no intention of leaving, and I still play on it. And I wanted all of Caves and Cliffs at once. And if I was afraid if I updated that even when I trimmed chunks, when the second part came out, I was gonna miss out on like the ends, the ancient cities. So I waited, and because of that, I missed out on getting to interact with a lot of content until much later. Some of it, which I still haven't even messed with. Did I get turned around? I feel like I got turned around. Where am I? Oh, somehow I'm going north. Okay, I didn't get turned around. Until I wondered out loud if I was getting turned around. Okay, now I'm turned around. I just don't get why I'm seeing the world border. Oh, because I'm too far north, that's why. Okay. I don't ever come up here. This is what I get for talking while I'm flying. I'm gonna run out of rockets if I'm not careful. We're pretty close to home though, so I'm not too worried about it. I've got more in the ender chest. I really need to get them, but I think we can get back with 3. How are we looking? Oh yeah, we're looking good. And the top of our lake kind of lines up with the lighthouse, so it should be right over this way. Right about here. Yep. All right. Let's re-up on the rockets. Okay. I have a bucket of water somewhere over here. Yeah, here we go. I need to put this on some blocks though. What am I gonna put it on? These will work. I want to put it in a place that's easy to access, but also kind of out of the way. I guess that would be down here. There we go. And that. And that. Then let's fill this with water just in case I quickly need it again. That should go there. But as I understand it, if I'm remembering right, sea pickles will only grow on coral, and coral cannot be outside of water unless it's in your inventory. It's fine in your inventory, but don't dare set it down outside of water. And we'll do sort of like a little thing around here. And like I said, this is just temporary. This is just to farm some up real quick. We'll come up with a better way to get them later on. So the way that it works is, you know what, I'm gonna put more right there. If I do that should, well, maybe not. That's fine. Anyway, we put them there. All right, and then you hit them with bone meal, and they should spread around here. So we just gotta go get some bone meal. And we have plenty of that right over here. With all of our big daddies here still looking for their little sisters. That's probably way more than we'll need, but rather have it and not need it, right? Than the other way around. Unless you're running low on inventory space. You know, Mojang always keeps one thing up their sleeve on every update. And I'm kind of hoping that, I hope this every year. I'm kind of hoping that what they've got up their sleeve they're not sharing with us this time is some kind of inventory update. And I think, I know I'm not the only person to have said that. And this isn't the first year I've hoped it. And they came close with the bundles, but they never really released them. Though with vanilla tweaks, you can still kind of get them. But even that wasn't really, like, you know, the solution we were looking for. So, let's test it out. And as you can see, it's working. So let's pick these up. And you just leave the one in the middle. And you keep bone milling it. And you fall. And we can sort of go ahead and really, if we wanted to, we could start replacing them now. Yeah. Actually, that's the exact center. Is that it? Yeah. I want to do a thing here. Just so I don't know why I need to know this, but if I did need to know it, we'll have our exact center marked out. It might be something that's useful to know while we're down here at some point. Let's see how much of a difference. Oh, yeah, it does make a bit of a difference. Nice. And if we add some coral down there, that'll look nice too. But I think we're a ways off from doing anything like that. Whoop. And we don't have to put 4 in every spot, as you can see. Sometimes there's 1, 2, 3, or 4. Just 4. It goes up a light level every time. I don't remember what 4 is. I doubt it's the full like 15 or 16. And I think that a single one is probably more than 1, but I don't remember really. I'd have to look it up. But I think at least 3 is probably maybe the way to go for what we're looking for. Not really trying to light anything up, just kind of create you know, something a little more interesting than what we have down here. I think I just heard a trident. I sure did. Let's go get some air. And then we will dispatch our new trident friend. No trident that time. That's okay. We've already got 3 tridents so far. 2 of them just while building this thing. I wish you could pick these up. That'd be cool. Sort of like how you farm for arrows in Skyrim by going to Solitude, and the soldiers on the training ground just keep shooting arrows. And then you can actually reverse pickpocket them, and you could put a dragon bone arrow in their inventory and remove their regular, you know, imperial arrows or whatever, and then they'll shoot infinite dragon bone arrows, and you can farm those. I always thought that was a cool feature. Let's shriek. Excuse me. If you're just joining us, we're building a structure around our creeper farm here. While our creeper farm sort of underperforms because we're not at the right AFK distance, but it's doing some stuff. Of course, you know, you have to be way higher to get max efficiency out of it. Anyway, we have a sugarcane farm at the top, so it's more like a rocket factory than just a gunpowder farm. But we are sort of working on not an exact replica, but a somewhat inspired by Bioshock Lighthouse thing. So, however, I just ran out of deep slate, and I had in the back of my mind that I wanted to put a glass floor in this thing and then put a bunch of sea pickles down there. So I very quickly flew over to a place where I knew I could get this stuff, and I made a quick and dirty sea pickle farm. And now we're just kind of placing sea pickles. Because, I mean, that's what you do on a Friday night. And I'm just kind of going around the edges of the ring. And once we have that marked out, well, actually we're further out than I want to be. Once we have that worked out, we'll kind of fill in the middle a little bit. And we'll go get some air. Because we like breathing. At least I do. And it looks like maybe we made it all the way around. We can start working our way in. Maybe the best way to do that is instead of going in rings, just sort of, you know, work our way to the middle from in more of a spoke type fashion. And it doesn't have to be exact. In fact, I don't want it to be exact. I want it to look haphazard and natural. Oh, well, we need more sea pickles, don't we? How are we looking? Yeah, that's not too bad. I like that. Well, that's not what I meant to do at all. Alright, let's head back down. And put some more down here. And maybe 4 singles would be a better look right there. Don't forget to breathe. Memento respiratory. All right, it's starting to take shape here. I'm gonna put another spoke here-ish. Go get some more air. We're almost out again. That side looks good. Might need to do a little more on that side's. Yeah, we'll say that side's good too. Oops. They're all looking pretty okay. Maybe these two are a little brighter than these two. Maybe we'll say that's enough for now. We'll leave the sea pickle farm in case we change our minds. Want more? Yes. Excellent. Now I did bring the glass over here with the thought could go ahead and place the floor. But I'm thinking I would actually like to do that last because on the occasions when we fall, we have a better shot at living falling in the water than we do if we were to land on glass. So it might be time to go mining for more deep slate. The sugar cane doing? Looks like it's ready to pop off any second now. How's the other side doing? Well, this side's got a better shot. All it takes is one of these to grow as high as the observer, and all three sides get harvested. Oh, there we go. I'd wanted to show that, and now I can. Maybe I'll make a little clip of that. This thing seemed so much taller before. The one thing I think I will do, even if it's just temporary, let's light it a little bit better in here. And we'll just do it here, 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 here. I'm not gonna say here every time I put one down. There's no need for that. And these are just temporary. Still want to wind up though. And I don't know, that may, well, you know what, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work because we're bumping heads. There. And we'll have a little less mob spawning here. And then we'll hang these up in a interesting way later on. There we go. I guess that would have made more sense to put my steel vocal farm not in the way of my ladder, huh? Oh well. Let's shreep. And well, our gear is in pretty good shape. So no need to visit the Ender. Might want to repair the elytra a little bit while I'm thinking about it, and while it is less costly to do so. But since that's the only thing that we really have that's in disrepair at the moment, we won't bother with the Ender. We'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Alright, that healed our pick and our elytra. Excellent. Well, let's go get Credence. You got any eggs? No eggs this time, okay. You're doing great. riddance. I tell you what. Let's take a couple of these as well. And we still need to do some kind of little entrance for the spider farm over there. I don't know what yet. I haven't actually even thought about it. I've been kind of busy outside of streaming Minecraft and about to get busier in the next few days. But I'll think of something. We won't let it go too long without doing anything, because that's how you end up never doing anything, and I want to do something. I know what I would have done in the past, but I don't want to do it again because I've done it more than once. And what I used... How did I come over here? Force of habit, I guess. Anyway, look at it go. Look at that thing go. I'm going to watch it drop more spiders. Oh, there go 4. I should get rid of that right there. That wood. That's obstructing the view of the web. Can that be easily gotten to? That's not what we're gonna do. Like, we're not gonna be doing cleanup here tonight. I just see a thing and I want to take care of it. Well, there's not an easy way to get to it right now. No. We'll come back to it. Or, okay. Okay, we won't come back to it. We'll do it right now. But then we're going mining for deep slate. Didn't even mean to come in here. There we go. Alright, let's get out of here. Well, first let's appreciate the better view we've created, and then let's get out of here. Yes, now we can see the web much better. I like that. I am pleased with that. Now, if I can just remember how to get out of here. Over here. Yes. Yeah, it's a much better view without that obstruction. I like that. Good call on us. Okay. Wait, nope, nope. We're going mining. Remember? With this pick. Let's clear our inventory. Okay. You can see with all these branches that I have been quite busy. I think the last one I went down, I don't remember if I finished it. I have them marked off now where when I get to the end, I have a tunnel I run into that tells me don't go further, you're leaving the safe biome. Yeah, here's where we left off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up my inventory and 2 shulker boxes worth of deep slate. Then we're going to go back to the lighthouse and keep building it. So, sorry we had to take a little detour, but I ran out of deep slate. I had a full inventory and 2 shulkers when I started. I was hoping that'd be enough for tonight, but I was, as you can see, way off on that regard. And actually, this might be a good time to take a very short break, just about 5 minutes. I want to top off my water. Oops. Walk around for just a bit. And this seems like a good starting or stopping point for that sort of thing. So, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. We haven't even made it down. You know, I said I was gonna fill up 2 shulker boxes. Plus my inventory. I don't think I have it in me to mine that long. I think I'd rather mine in smaller increments. I am in a building mood. Oh. So we'll fill up 1 inventory and then build some more. That won't take long. And if we're lucky, we'll get some diamonds. Not that we need them anymore, but it's fun to find them. Ooh, redstone. How much did that land us? The thing about redstone is fortune is just a beast on it. It's really overpowered. I just got half a stack of redstone with what, 5 redstone ore. I have about a stack and a half of redstone blocks, each block being just like diamond, 9 pieces of redstone. Redstone dust, I mean. How are we doing? Oh man, still got a ways to go. I'm not even gonna bother with the redstone right now. I wish I hadn't on the redstone. Let's free that up, or deep slate cobble. Oh no. I'm mining with the wrong pick. There we go. Pocket of Tough here. I'd never heard of Tough before Minecraft, or if I had, I'd forgotten about it. I've actually only, I think, had 2 geology classes my whole life, 1 in high school and 1 in college. I did well in both, but I don't remember a thing from either of them, really. Other than the water table, I do remember that. There's actually a video from probably about a year and a half ago by Mumbo, where he took a Minecraft build he did, as well as the surrounding natural generation of that build, and he took it to a geology college professor and had them assess it for how close it would be to real life. And there were a number of things they pointed out as not being quite how one would expect to find it on real life, but there were surprisingly more things that they said, yes, this is just how you would expect to find it on Earth. That was a neat video to watch. I'm glad he did that. I hope he continues to put little things like that out every now and then. It seems to be the direction he's going, is to occasionally do stuff like that. Oops. And I rather like that direction. He took almost a year off due to burnout recently. He just came back, and I wonder if doing more videos just of that nature, where he goes and he just interviews someone, you know, about something. Maybe that would help reduce the likelihood of burnout for him. I do want this stuff to still be here in case I ever want to come back for it. I just don't want it in my inventory right now. If we did come back for it, I would just come back for the ore itself, not like the ore block. I wouldn't be getting it for gold, I'd be getting it for decoration, because we are going to build a gold farm too. One of these days. First we have to break through the nether roof. Which is not difficult, we just have to do it. Think about breaking. Ooh, would you look at that? Okay, I'll let this in my inventory, but I'm gonna get the ore. Yeah. Anyway, getting on the nether roof is not hard, but you have to break through bedrock, which is supposed to be impossible, in order to get back, unless of course you build a portal on the roof. But if you want to have regular nether access from the nether roof, you do have to break bedrock, which, as I said, is supposed to be impossible, but through the magic of glitches and exploits, we can break bedrock in certain situations, and so we shall. But we won't be doing that tonight. Just doing this because of how much I use concrete. Whenever I find gravel, I'm getting that gravel. At least until we have our piglin bartering set up. Oh, and we're at bedrock now. I have a data pack from Vanilla Tweaks that makes bedrock look like this instead of what you might be used to. I just think it looks better, and not only that, but after playing this game for 9 years, it was just nice to have a little visual change. All right. So we want to be on -53. And there we are on -53. How's our inventory? Oh, wow, we got 3.5 stacks of gravel. That's great. Not what we need at the moment, but in the future we'll be glad we have this. So I think what we'll do when we get back to the main branch, I might do one thing to clean up that branch. just slightly. It'll only take a minute. Then we'll drop off. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well. I think we'll be fine. And then we'll drop off our gravel and diamonds at our storage room. We'll get back to building. But it has become obvious to me we will not be finishing building tonight. Mainly because we're at a bottleneck where we have to keep stopping to mine stuff. Just checking, make sure there's no lava underneath it. Don't want it to fall in the lava. What is that, 5? Yeah, 5. I think what I'm gonna do once we get back to the main branch, clean it up, drop off the stuff in the storage room and build. Once I run out of stuff after that pass of building, I'll call it a night. And then what I'll probably do is keep playing and just acquiring more deep slate for the next stream. I'm not really inclined to stream while I'm doing this, as I said before, being that I've been told it's more enjoyable to watch the stream if I stay engaged. I run out of things to say when when I'm just digging a 1 block wide, 2 block tall hole through the bottom of the world. As I think anyone would. Or can I see the... I mean, if I zoom in... Oh, it looks like we are pretty close to... Well, I don't know. Because I didn't light up the one across. I don't even know what I'm seeing. That actually looks like... I was gonna say water, but it doesn't look like anything really. Smoke? I don't even know if that's showing up on the stream. It's really dark. Some sort of visual artifact is probably what it is. Oh, hey-o. Ooh, this is a big vein of diamonds. Alright, 13. So, if I use fortune on this instead of silk, this would equate to probably, let's see, 26, probably about half a stack of diamonds, about 32 diamonds. My inventory is full, isn't it? Oh man, I used the wrong pick again. My inventory's getting close to full. There we go. Because I mined that iron by accident. Might just drop it. Let it despawn. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. the old me back in the day before I knew about enchantments I'd go empty my inventory, run back and get it before it despawned, because I had to have everything, because everything took forever to get, because I didn't know about enchantments. Like, I knew they existed, but I didn't know what they did. And in my experience as a gamer up until that point, I'd never run into a situation where, like, I had to learn about that sort of mechanic. I just didn't get it. Like, you know, I'd played games with similar mechanics, like, you know, like even Skyrim, I mastered the restoration loop. I could explain from memory even how to do it when people asked about it on Reddit. I even knew how many soul gems it took to maximize your well, I don't remember what it is now. But you needed 250 soul gems to max something out. Whatever it was. I am bound and determined. To make it back to the main branch through this side branch we're working on. Maybe it was took 250 soul gems to max out the enchantment perks. I knew stuff like that, but for some reason it just didn't click with me in Minecraft. I'm like, no, I'm just mining stuff and building it. What else is there? We'll come back for that. Probably not. We'll probably forget about it. Did we get one off? There's supposed to be two between all of them. Huh. Oh, but we are at the very end. So whatever, we're fine. We're just one off. It's not the end of the world. We got what we came for. You know what, though? I don't want to finish this one because it's going to throw off the way it looks down there. We have it all perfect and pristine. Well, not perfect and pristine, but, you know. It's going to throw off our count. I don't know what happened, but we messed something up. Put that there, and we know that's the next one to go down. Because we went down the wrong side. And now it's going to mess up the whole, like, point of our branch mining where we skip to, so we maximize our efficiency of being able to see what we see. But oh man, I could have got one more. We'll take you there. But still, I want to even everything. So let's go drop all this stuff at storage that isn't deep slate. Head back to the lighthouse and let's see. I figure we can probably get maybe 7 more rows out of this. Or would that be 14 rows? Between 12 and 14 rows. It's my estimation of the progress we can make. I like how you can it's tall enough so we can see it from parts of the island. In fact, we're gonna have eventually a little dock right here. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, when we have a little dock down there, it'll be cool to be able to see that over there. Oh, right, we need to drop off stuff. Got caught up in the view, which is a nice one, and more so knowing that we're responsible for it. That's a good feeling. Good thing you don't have any eggs. I don't have room in my inventory for them. All right. Might as well take this stuff too. Sure, why not? Oh, I know why not. Here, we'll leave that behind because it's only 2. I want a little space in here because I want to move some of this stuff around real quick. I don't want those in there because I want the space. We can take this out too. See, we're doing quite well on diamonds. Oh, and we got another elytra as well when we went in busting off camera. Okay, and I need to go mining for ancient debris more as well because we still don't have netherite. Anything. How much would I have? 5? Yeah, I have enough ancient debris to make 1 netherite thing. Oh, well, that was good timing, wasn't it, Attila? Well, you can see Attila's been busy. Doing such a good job. You know what? Screenshot. Screenshot of Attila. Of course, when I take the when I take the HUD out, it takes away her name. It's nice to finally be building something, I'll tell you that. After a month of just getting all settled, you know? Well, we could talk about these lights a little bit too. These are redstone lamps. They require power to run, that's why I have a lever on them. I'd wanted to do daylight sensors and I made some, but the signal from a daylight sensor unfortunately is only strong enough to power 2, whereas a lever can power, or rather a daylight sensor can only power 1 of these. Whereas a lever can power actually 3. So the lever doesn't look as good as, you know, it just doesn't look good, but you don't notice it after a while. The daylight sensors do look good, but in what I'm trying to recreate, these would be 2 blocks tall. And I don't think they look as good or have the same effect at 1 block tall. So that's a compromise I had to make with putting levers on top of them. But I'm okay with it. Oh, I should have brought those back here. Oh well. That's okay. Let's get rid of all this clutter here. Okay. Now we just convert all this. I would like to come back at some point and sort of weather some of the blocks, you know, replace them with different blocks, just make it look like, you know, time is taking its toll. Maybe some of these, maybe even a couple of those, you know, that's a really a nice looking block, but just the difference in blocks will look like wear and tear and erosion and that sort of thing. That's a thing I've been trying to get better at the last couple of years, and I have made some improvements, but I'd still like to go farther. It was some stuff I learned from B-Dubs and Scar. Both of them are they really excel at that, and a few others as well, but most notably the two of them. B-Dubs even has a couple tutorials on it, and I think Scar has one or two as well. But in the past, my builds have all been big like this, and they look cool, all the little parts, or big parts, or whatever, fit together and everything, but they're very monolithic and mono everything, like, boom, one type of block with some trim, you know. And I lived in Berlin for a while, and I wonder if, and that's actually when I started playing Minecraft, and I've always wondered if the communist architecture there, because I lived in the former communist sector of Berlin. I wondered if I forgot to put this pick away. That affected my build style, because that is very much how buildings in that area look. And sometimes it works very well, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it was just a pragmatic thing, like it was easy, cheap, and not a lot to it. But in other situations, it looked quite striking. So, who's to say? I guess architects and people who understand architecture, that's who's to say. I guess anyone could say it, but that's fine too. We forgot to grab our stone bricks though. Let's make another stack of them. In fact, let's make two. That noise on the stone cutter always reminds me of the opening percussion on Closer by 9 Inch Nails. Which, if you're under 18, you didn't hear that from me. But I guarantee you that your parents totally rocked out to that song in the 90s. We all did. Oh dear. Oh man, I thought I was about to fall. Oh, good. All right. It's okay. Not going down there for one block. Especially stone brick, that's easy to replace. And since I've known about enchantments for almost 9 years now, when I say I didn't know about enchantments, I just mean for like the first month, which is about how long it took me to build the thing I built, which was the Berlin Media Tower. And you know what? I've built it 2 more times since then, and I'm thinking I might build it again here. It's fun to build. It looks cool. It's an interesting piece of architecture, and every time I build it slightly different, you know. I'm not making an exact replica when I make it. I'm making it pretty close. But every time I do something slightly different, and every time some of the things I repeat. Some of the things I put in it every single time aren't even in the real one. It's just I put it in the first one, and you know what? I liked it. It looked good. I'm going to put it in the rest. One of them I even the most accurate block to how it looks would be probably stone or polished andesite, or maybe even regular andesite. As I said, I built it 3 times now. Twice was out of stone, but the second time I built it, I actually built it out of sandstone because it was in a desert build. And this time, you know, maybe I'll make it out of purpur. We'll see. Because it does look kind of spacey, and purpur is kind of a spacey looking block. Purpur's that block the end cities are made out of. That purple thing. There are a couple different variations of purpur that we could use as well to mix it up a little. I never thought of making a thing out of purpur. I don't particularly like or dislike the block. It's difficult to build with. It's a shade that doesn't really lend itself to the types of things I build. But I just got the image of a Berlin Media Tower made out of purpur in my head, and I rather like what I'm envisioning. So, you know, maybe I'll try that. Oh, wrong block. There we go. And maybe I could add some other interesting colors in there, some to make it pop and accent the purpur a little. Maybe some yellow or gold or even some green. Just make it look really, really spacey. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe some blues would look good in it too. We'll have to lay down a color palette and see when the time comes. I don't know what I'll put inside it. Typically, my skyscrapers hide a farm. The last time I built one, it was intended to be a mushroom farm, which I built based on the memory of a video I had seen years ago but could no longer find. And then discovered that the mechanics of mushrooms had changed since I had last seen it. So I had to tear the whole thing down. Man, that thing was big. I mean, it took up a skyscraper. Okay, I'm getting that one. So ultimately, my last one ended up being empty because it was no longer a suitable place for the type of farm I had intended to use it for. But it was still a cool building. And it was on the edge of my main area. And so because of that, it afforded nice views of the rest of it. And being that there's a giant glass ball on top, that certainly helped with the views. Oh no. No. Well, we need to shriek anyway. I need to be a little more careful than that. That's how I'm gonna end up dying, and all my stuff's gonna end up popping 50 yards in every direction. Or meters or what have you. You know what I need to do? I'll tell you what I need to do. Jeez. I was gonna say I need to light up that overhang so creepers don't fall on it or drop from it. That's what I was gonna say. Did I hit the creeper with a stare? Oh goodness. I'll have to watch the replay of that. I think I hit the creeper just with whatever was in my hand. Anything else down here? No, I don't see anything. Goodness. Let's take care of that right now. Even if it's just like a temporary situation. But I saw that. Or we would have lost all this stuff, including these lanterns, which is what I was looking for. Somehow we have an odd number. Well, maybe we have an odd number up there because of that one I dropped. Maybe that's what it is. Okay. Well, hi, Mr. Skelly. I know I could just put torches down, but even though it's temporary, I still want it to look nice up here. Counting those out made me realize that this side is different than the other sides. Let's see. It's one shorter than the other diagonals. No, it's not. I just miscounted the first on all the other ones, I think. But that was the same as the one I thought was wrong. You know, at this point, I'm not going to actually worry about it. Yeah. Okay. It's fine. We'll figure it out later, but they are all even. Yeah, that'll do for now. Obviously, we'll come up with a more permanent solution. And what you saw in action right there was the Thorns enchantment. When they attack me, they take damage. Oh, I put the stone bricks away, didn't I? That creeper's still messing me up. Okay. All right. I'm not dealing with accidentally placing torches every time. But I did not mean to do that either. There. So we're almost at the point where I would call this section done, and then maybe we'll bring it in a little bit. I don't know that we're gonna have enough to actually make it all the way up there tonight, but we're getting close. So that's a good place to be. Well, I did it anyway. Goodness. I don't normally carry torches in my offhand. I'm doing it whenever I can because I know it's darker on stream. And it's easier to see if I do. Especially when I'm mining. I know places like right now it doesn't make a huge difference, but when sun sets and I decide, well, I'm going to keep building anyway, I don't care about creepers, I know it helps then. So that's why I keep accidentally placing torches. I'm just not used to having them in my hand. Or my offhand, really. There are a number of things I don't utilize in Java just because I played in Bedrock so long they don't come naturally to me, even though in Java they might be older features. But then that applies to some new features as well, like chests or boats with chests. That's a new feature. And as I was exploring the world when we first joined and struggling with inventory with all the things I picked up along the way that I wanted to come back with, like, you know, different types of saplings and crops, I was struggling with managing inventory space, and that's just a part of early game that I'm just used to dealing with. That's always been a thing. But chests with boats changed that a little bit if you're exploring with a boat by giving you 27 extra slots of inventory space in your boat. And I totally forgot that was a thing. Just because it's new, and it's just so ingrained in me that it doesn't exist, that the normal way is harder. I forgot it was there. Until today, when I thought, you know, it might be kind of neat to catch a mob and just keep them in a boat down below, just for the atmosphere of it. But then I thought, well, eventually 2 mobs will be in there, and then it won't look right. And then I remembered, oh yeah, chest boat. Only one entity can sit in there. And then it reminded me how my life would have been a little easier at the beginning of this world if I remember that those existed. Of course, with my luck, if I'd made one, I would have run into a villager that I wanted to transport and wouldn't have been able to. Well, it doesn't really matter. I guess I would have just made a regular boat if that happened. It's not like you need anything special to make those. In Bedrock, it's different. And in Java, the recipe for a boat is the same as a helmet, just turned upside down, and it's wood instead of leather or, you know, one of the ores. Whereas, speaking of ores, in Bedrock, you actually have to make the ores. You have to... I forget what the arrangement for the wood planks are, but you have to actually make 2 wooden shovels, and those are considered the ores. If I've just confused you, I was talking about O-R-E and O-A-R very close to one another. And I accidentally did a play on words that was dangerously close to a pun. Which, of course, as we all know, puns are frowned upon. Yet we all insist on continuing to make them, myself included. I am gonna wrap up pretty soon here, because I'm running out of blocks to build with. But we'll give it a little fly around one last time before I sign off for the night. And then I'll be back at some point. Like I said earlier in the stream, don't know when, because the death in the family. So until they tell me when everything is, my schedule will remain up in the air. And then I have plans with a friend tomorrow that I haven't hung out with in quite some time. We used to see each other a couple times a week, and then with everything the last few years, we just weren't able to. So we're getting together tomorrow. Really looking forward to that. Oh no. Well, we're not going to make it all the way around on this one. That's all the deep slate we've got, I believe. if you're taking bets on how close we're going to get to making it all the way around, you'll want to get those in quickly, as the cutoff is quickly approaching us before no new bets will be accepted. We might actually make it though. It might be close. I'm not going to look up. I'm going to be surprised. Or disappointed. Or both. Oh my. We have 4 more than we needed to make it all the way around. Actually 5. How about that? Well, I hope your horse came in. Or whatever the saying is. Your horse placed, your ship came in, whatever it is. Let's fly out over here so we can get kind of a good look at it. I like to stand on this mushroom because it's tallest in the area, but it's still close to the shore. So it looks like we've got about, I don't know, 10-ish more rows in this section. I'd hope that this section looked a little more recessed than the one below it. It doesn't really. Maybe when I remove the scaffolding it will. But I don't hate it either. And it's gonna continue to taper in as we get higher. And then it'll have a nice statue on top. That's the type of boat I was talking about, by the way. And then you can, actually, I've never made one before. I don't even know how to check the inventory in it. I tried to a second ago and it just put me in the boat. Okay, so you have to, crouch and then click on it. The game calls it boat with chest, but everyone else calls it a chest boat, I believe. That's what I call it anyway. And I'm going to keep calling it that. Now the sun's setting, let's get a look at it at night. Because it is a lighthouse, and that's when it's supposed to really shine. I guess that was a pun too, sorry. But, you know, looks pretty good. It's coming together nicely, I think. I'm happy with it so far. But I'm out of blocks to build any further. And as I said, I really hate mining on streams. It's just not good content. I don't need to be talking about nothing for hours. No one does. Unless I guess I was on AM radio, but I'm not. So I guess the thing to do is creep. And I got shulker boxes. And you know, when I put in the feature in the middle there, I think that will also make that look more recessed up there. Yeah, that'll definitely help. This thing jutting out was supposed to visually assist with that as well. Let's look at it from this angle. Also, when it tapers in up here, I think that will also assist in making this look more recessed. It will trick the eye. I think right now the eye is actually tricked into it not being recessed, when in fact it is. I mean, it isn't, but your eye's supposed to think that it is what I mean. It worked when it wasn't that tall. Maybe that's the problem, is it's too tall for that trick to work right now. But we'll keep playing with it. I'm certainly not going to tear it down and start over. We've got what we've got. And I like that I can see it from this far away. That's cool. It's going to look good. Yep. So, yeah. I guess I'm going to go end the stream here. Well, I'm going to put this back on as soon as you guys are gone. But I think I'm going to go mine. You know, with Smooth B. Actually, I need to go get Credence, because Smooth B gives me Deep Slate, and I need Cobbled Deep Slate. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed joining me with building the Bioshock Lighthouse, the Rapture entrance. And when you come back next time, maybe we'll work on it some more. Maybe I'll be done with it by then. Maybe I'll have a collection of andesite and we'll be working on the GM building. Don't know. Don't know what my schedule's going to be like yet. But you know what? We'll find out together. Because isn't that what Minecraft is all about? Yes. That's why we literally had an update called the Better Together update. Anywhoozle B. I do thank you for watching. And I hope you have a great night, a great weekend. I've been Captain Incredulous. You've been wonderful. I'll catch you later.